Falcons miracle in Philadelphia. After a week with a lack of faith on the Atlanta Falcons starting quarterback Kirk Cousins because of how he played against the Pittsburgh Steelers on week 1, you can say without a shadow of a doubt that Kirk Cousins saved the Falcons' NFL season with his amazing last 2 minutes of play against the Philadelphia Eagles, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, we're going to talk about how we, the fans, didn't have the faith. Yeah, I said did not have the faith in Kirk Cousins in the fourth freaking quarter of Monday Night Football's game. We're also going to talk about how Kirk Cousins, achieved a miracle in Philadelphia within the last 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. We're also going to talk about how their season was saved because of a last-second touchdown pass. And we're going to talk about what would have occurred if the Atlanta Falcons under Kirk Cousins would have gone 0-2 on Monday Night Football against those damn Eagles. Finally, we're going to speak about what we should be expecting following this game from the Falcons throughout the NFL schedule that remains. So ladies and gentlemen, before we start, let me ask you for your like of this video. You're clicking that subscription button in case you haven't done it. This will help us and this channel grow. Thank you. Let's begin. Look, let's be sincere. The last 2 weeks we saw how the Atlanta Falcons defense looked really good against both the Steelers and the Eagles. The defense was consistent. They're definitely not the best in the league, but they made good stops and put a lot of pressure on the opposing quarterbacks. Yet, the offense, well, that's a real disappointment to us, at least us, the Falcons fans, because of what we saw out of our offensive line against the Steelers and how TJ Watt constantly went through the Falcon players and got to Kirk. We also saw how Kirk Cousins during the first game against the Steelers looked afraid to play and move within the pocket because of his carefulness towards his foot and that Achilles heel situation. He was constantly afraid, and that's why he was in that stupid pistol position. I'll admit it, ladies and gentlemen, he looked better week 2 than what he did week 1. But he wasn't great enough to get us into the red zone on a constant basis throughout the game. Until the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. You and I both know we wanted to switch the freaking channel during the last 2 minutes. Because we, the Falcons fans, didn't believe that Kirk Cousins was capable of taking the Falcons offense from one end of the field to the other. Basically, just because of how he was playing the last 2 games. So how did this miracle occur? Well, they say God is great and has a plan for all of us. With Saquon Barkley missing the catch on the 4th down, the Falcons got the ball at Atlanta's 30-yard line. Kirk went shotgun and threw a short middle field pass to Kyle Pitts, who gained 11 yards and placed the Falcons on the 41-yard line. Without a huddle, with 1 minute and 19 seconds left in the game, Kirk passed deep left to Darnell Mooney, who got the Philadelphia 38-yard line ready for them, and he gained 21 yards. Again, without a huddle and a shotgun formation, Kirk passes it again to Darnell Mooney, who got the ball to the Philadelphia 12-yard line and gained 26 yards. At this point, you're all excited like I was, and thought to myself, this fucker's really gonna do it. He can definitely win. Then in the back of your mind, you're like, shit, it's Kirk. He isn't good in primetime football games, nor is he healthy right now. At least he doesn't look healthy. And he doesn't look like his old self. Yet, Kirk Cousins had no fear, ladies and gentlemen. He was in charge and in command of the football and his passes. With 43 seconds left, he had an incomplete pass to Ray McCloud. Yet, with 34 seconds in the fourth freaking quarter, Kirk was able to pass it to Drake London, who scored a touchdown for the freaking Atlanta Falcons. Our kicker, Mr. Cool, he hit the extra point, and after the Eagles got the ball, the great safety one, Jesse Bates III intercepted Jalen Hurts 2 plays after the Eagles got the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk gave us hope. Kirk Cousins saved the Falcons season. Even though he should have been playing the first game and the first 3 quarters and first 10 minutes of the 4th quarter in the Eagles game, the same way he played the last 2 freaking minutes of that Eagles game itself in the 4th quarter. As much as I could say he deserves 100% of the props for winning that game against the Eagles, I have to say there are more people that deserve those freaking props. Let's start off with the defense and the defensive coach, Jimmy Lake. They have been consistent in how they played both games against the Steelers and now against the Falcons. They made sure to keep the Falcons close enough to be able to win the game on both the Steelers and Falcons and the Eagles game. The addition of Judon has been incredible to the defense, and he's been able to go through the opposing players and stopping the run on the throw, or the throw I should say. The safeties have been amazing as well, especially Jesse Bates III, Mr. Interception. This addition has been very important for the Falcons the last 2 years. Also give props to Zach Robinson for the last 2 minutes of the 4th quarter. I was disappointed in the consistent, stupid pistol offense that they played last week with Kirk Cousins. But whatever they changed in between the Steelers and Eagles game seemed to have improved both the team on offense and Kirk Cousins himself. He was able to knee down to call plays while in the huddle, which would have been something that I would have been scared to see from Kirk Cousins. He was able to move in and out of the pocket. Nasally, he was able to move, which kind of gave you confidence to say he's actually healed and ready to play. Finally, you gotta give props to Coach Raheem Morris, ladies and gentlemen. He has his team prepared for the last 2 minutes of that beautiful game, and especially that offensive team. He managed the time accordingly, especially with the usage of his timeouts that were used in the 4th quarter of the game to ensure that the Falcons offense had enough time and a freaking chance to win the Eagles game under that 2-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. Also, the guy is positive. Don't you see how positive he is? I'm positive right now. Just thinking of Raheem Morris. He definitely is a positive motivator, and that's what the team needed as a whole after that stupid 1-week loss against the Steelers in the he was even positive during the week, during his 900 conferences that he had with the press, or the media, whatever you want to call him. You know, he's got a lot. But yet, at the end of the day, Kirk was a man in the last 2 minutes because he was confident, because he made his tight end and wide receivers look tall, speedy, and unstoppable. And that's how they won the freaking game. So what would have happened if the Falcons had lost to the Eagles and they would have gone 0-2 in the NFC South division? Well, there's many answers, and they're very simple to give you. Number 1, we would have lost faith in Kirk Cousins as our starting quarterback. We would have had many reasons or thoughts on why he sucked, but the first ones are that he wasn't healed yet. You know, he was coming off an Achilles heel injury and he wasn't ready. Or maybe because he had not been himself mentally. His mental state of thought was, I am in pain, or I'd rather protect my Achilles from getting injured or re-injured. I don't want to move as much, and I need to be protected. I am the $180 million man. Well, we could have also thought that maybe, just maybe, Zach Robinson should not have been the offensive coach for the Falcons, as his play schemes on offense just would have sucked, and it wasn't what Kirk Cousins and this damn team needed. The third answer would have been, can we continue in the same process and would be able to beat the Tampa Bay Buccanners or the New Orleans Saints, looking amazing as they are and being 2-0 in the NFC South, especially with the way the team has gone perfectly with defensive side, but horribly on the offensive side. Yet the biggest question that we would have had in this upcoming third week would have been, when will the coaching staff decide to make Michael Penix Jr. the official starting quarterback for the Falcons? It's freaking time. I mean, he's mature enough to play, and unlike Kirk Cousins, he's healthy and mobile. He showed us what he was able to do during the offseason, and we know he can play in any offensive style. He could have been the Jalen Hurts for the Falcons. That is, if Kirk kept sucking. Ultimately, we don't have to think about all these stupid questions and their answers, especially after the miracle comeback from Kirk on the offensive side of the Falcons this past Monday night against the Eagles. Am I wrong? So, can the Falcons win the majority of their games for the remainder of the NFL season? The answer is yes. See, we all thought that the Falcons would be able to beat the Steelers in Week 1, but lose by a certain huge amount against the Eagles and the Chiefs. By all of us, I mean me, because I'm a Falcons fan, of course. But why did I think like this? And you know what? There's a lot of people that have thought about this same way as I did. Well, the Falcons have a new head coach and a coaching staff. They also have a new, proven starting quarterback for the Falcons in Kirk Cousins. Yet he's coming out of major Achilles heel surgery, which occurred obviously many months ago, but he's coming out, he's recovered, yet hasn't played a game since the surgery. They have a great offensive line, or so we thought. They have a so-so defense. That's what we thought at the beginning of the season. At least we know now that the defense is actually really, really good and not so-so. They could be way better, but they're actually very good right now. And on the offensive side, well, we look like crap. The offenses could be better. We definitely know that we can play when Kirk is at his best, and that's the most important thing. Let's look at the schedule, ladies and gentlemen. The obvious scare right now is Sunday night's game against the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 2-0, and they are the reigning champs. But Patrick Mahomes on a Sunday night football game is a scary player because he loves the limelight and is ready for prime freaking time. At first I thought the Chiefs would be blowing out the Falcons, yet after these past two games, I feel the Falcons will lose. Yeah, they'll still lose, but it'll be a close game because the Chiefs are too damn good. And what about the rest of the games? Well, the Panthers, the Seahawks, the Raiders, the Giants, the Commanders, and the Bronco games, they'll be easy wins for the Falcons. At least, that's what I think. I can see the Saints and Buccaneer games having us and them go 1-1 against the Falcons, where the home team will win their respective game, and the Chargers, Cowboys, and Vikings are going to be questionable games for the Falcons. Both teams are playing really, really good at the early stages of the season. I can see the Falcons beating the Chargers and the Cowboys, yet for some weird reason I feel like the Vikings might beat the Falcons. That is, if Sam Darnold keeps up his great quarterback skills. This will make the Falcons go 11-4 in the remaining of the 15 games, ultimately ending the season in 12-5. That's my hope. Those are my prayers. What about you? What do you think about everything that occurred within the last 2 minutes of the Falcons-Eagles game, and how the Falcons could end up in the remainder of the NFL season in the standings? Well, let us know in the comment area. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.